Hi there, it's Miss Tiffany from the Butler Area Public Library, and I'm here with another Library 101 video. Library 101 is a series of videos to help you learn more about the Butler Area Public Library, about libraries in general, and about information literacy. A few videos back, we talked about reference materials, and one of the types of reference materials that we mentioned were atlases, which are books of maps. So today we're going to take a little bit closer look at atlases and map skills. So here is an example of an atlas that can be found in the children's department. Remember, we said that we also have atlases, which are big books of maps, upstairs in our reference department as well. And here's just an example of what one of the pages in our children's atlas looks like. So you clearly see that it is a map. But what exactly do we use maps for? Well, maps can be used to identify and locate places or to describe what the places look like, their shape, their political boundaries, to understand a little bit more about the world and the people that live in different regions of the world, to understand how different places in the world are related to each other geographically, to find your way somewhere new, and to understand a little bit more about the past. As you may be aware, geographical and political boundaries have changed over time. The shapes of countries have changed. Large countries have split into smaller countries. New countries have been founded. So, maps can tell us a lot of information about the past and the present. There are different kinds of maps. The first is a political map, and this is to show you some basic information about a specific country. It's going to show you its boundaries. It's going to show you if it's made up of different territories or states, the way the United States of America is made up of states and the way Canada is made up of territories and provinces. It's going to show you the capitals of either the nation or the states or different areas. It will also sometimes show you major cities inside that country. The next type of map is a physical map. And this is going to show you information about the surface of the earth. It will show you where different types of landscapes can be found. The key on a map is a little piece of the map that shows you what the different symbols on a map represent. And a lot of times you will find a very detailed key on a physical map because it's going to show you what symbols are used to indicate mountains, what symbols or colors are used to indicate waterways, and what symbols are used to indicate plains. Another type of map is a topographical map, and this also will show you some information about the shape of an area as well as the elevation. And again, there will be a key on that map to show you what the lines represent based on how they are used on the map. There's something called a thematic map, which is used to give you information about the world, about specific areas of the world, about the people in that area. Sometimes it might be about the industry in that area or the economics in that area. Thematic maps may also be used to give you unusual information. For example, sometimes on Facebook or other social media sites, you may have seen a thematic map of the United States with the most popular candy in each state or the most unusual city name in each state. That is an example of a thematic map. There are historical maps. Remember, we talked a little bit about how the geographical and political borders of an area can change over time based on war, based on large countries splitting into smaller countries. But there's also historical maps to map very specific historical events. An example of a historical map would be if you've gone to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, you may have seen a map that shows the layout of the different groups of soldiers and the movements that they took during the 3-day Battle of Gettysburg. That's an example of a historical map. And finally, there are road or navigation maps. This is exactly what it sounds like. This is a map that shows you the different roads of an area and how to navigate from one place to another. A great example of a road or navigational map is exactly what you see when you use a GPS app on a smartphone or other device. It's going to show you what streets are located where within that area, and it will help you find the route to go from point A to point B. So, of these different types of maps that we have talked about, sometimes you'll find a map that has features of more than one of those types of map. So in the atlas that we already looked at, here is an example of a map that combines different types of map features. This is a map of the Great Lakes area. And you can see it's definitely a political map because it shows us the boundaries of the different states located in the Great Lakes area, which include Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois. But it also contains aspects of a physical map because it shows us where waterways are located. It shows us where there might be hills or mountains located. So here we have another atlas, which again is a book of maps that can be found in the children's department. And this atlas is a great example of thematic maps. So this is an atlas of the United States, and each map is a thematic map of a particular state. This is the map of Indiana. And you can see it is thematic in that it's going to tell us some interesting information about the different facts related to this map. So it's going to tell us about some famous people that are from the state of Indiana. It's going to tell us about some interesting things located in the state of Indiana, but it also gives us information about the capital and some key facts like when Indiana became a state, as well as the state flower, the state tree, the state bird. So that's an example of a thematic map in an atlas. We talked about maps being able to help you navigate in between places. And in order to do that, a map has to have information about what we call the cardinal directions. If you've ever taken a look at a map, there is something called a compass rose, which shows you the orientation of that map within the cardinal directions. So we have 4 cardinal directions. We have north, which goes up on the map. We have south, which goes down on the map. We have east, which goes to the right on a map. And we have west, which goes to the left on a map. So a compass rose is situated like this. You've got north, south, east, and west. When I was in school, I learned a couple of mnemonic devices to help me remember where the cardinal directions were located on a compass. A mnemonic device is sort of a memory shortcut to help jog your memory to recall some information. So I learned 2 different mnemonic devices to remember where the cardinal directions were located on a compass. I learned that you could remember the acronym NEVER EAT shredded wheat. That's one way to remember the cardinal directions. And then also I learned a pattern mnemonic device, which is if you start at the top and you make a zigzag like this, it spells the word news. So those are some examples of ways that you could help remember the cardinal directions on a map. Once you have the map's orientation and the cardinal directions pointed out on the compass rose on the map, then you can figure out how to navigate. If you're looking at a road map, of course, you're going to be following a specific road, but there are also maps of things like buildings. So if you need to find the north wing of a building, you would use the compass to help you find that. There is a worksheet to go along with this video that actually helps you learn how to navigate a map of a fictional school. I'm going to link that worksheet in the description of this video. I hope this video about maps and atlases has been helpful for you. If you ever have any questions about anything library related, or you have suggestions for future Library 101 video topics, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to include my email address in the description of the video as well. Thank you so much for watching and happy reading.